This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, brought to you by SummitCars.com. WTLA North Syracuse, WSGO Oswego, W249BC Mattydale, W261AC Oswego, WTKWHD2 Bridgeport, ESPN Radio. This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, highlighting all of Section 3, interviewing the greatest local coaches and athletes, brought to you by SummitCars.com, broadcasting in the ESPN studios. Here's your host, Mike Bristol, and Eagle Newspapers' Phil Blackwell.
All right, here we are on it, ladies and gentlemen. The great Phil Blackwell, the guru of the Eagle Newspapers. And Phil, what's been going on?
Oh, it's a packed time of year, and we have a packed show. We have tons of guests today, and we'll get right to it.
So before we do that, I want to introduce to everybody here in the high school sports realm of excitement one of the dapperest gentlemen in all of the Q's, Mr. Mark Burns. What's up, Burnsy?
Good morning, dapperest.
Dapperest is a word that I came up with.
Well, I was going to say, that's why I like the show. We make up words.
That's the extension of dapper and ist. Mm-hmm. As you know, I was a long-time English teacher before I took my broadcasting career to the next level with high school sports. Yeah. Phil, want to jump in on that at all?
No comment.
We've got our good friend Mark Burns here with us, and I think this is great. Syracuse Mets Armed Forces Day next Saturday, 10 a.m., and I like that Tebow's going to be cruising around with you.
Yeah. They've got the bobblehead giveaway. We've got a ton of equipment we're bringing down from Fort Drum to kind of show the community where their tax dollars are going on some of this stuff. So it's going to be a great day. We've got the 1st Brigade Combat Team commander's going to throw out the first pitch and share a few words, so it's going to be a great day.
I also find it exciting that you make it in studio and you bring me some McDonald's coffee.
Yeah. Anything I can do. I know what it's like Saturday mornings. 10 a.m. isn't really early.
Well, I gotta get excited when Phil brings the excitement too. You know that Phil brings the thunder when he walks in the studio.
People just tremble in my presence.
That should be on your T-shirts.
This is what I will tell you, though, that there's a combination of things. There's some people that have, like, serious thunder, and Phil's one of those guys that if you were looking at the WWE, right? Or let's go back to the mid-'80s, the WWF. Phil would have been the great Thunder, along with Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant. I mean, the greats of pro wrestling. Like, he would have fit in perfectly.
Not about that.
Oh, you would have brought the Thunder, man. I would have been your manager. So I would have been the guy, like, yelling from the sidelines.
He's the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. Okay.
Mouth of the North.
Whatever.
The Northeast.
Anyway.
All right, we're getting off track.
Well, that's a great segue, actually, because we've got also, with the Armed Forces Day, we've got Sergeant Slaughter coming in.
I knew that's why he brought it up. That's why he brought it up. That's why.
You do this unconsciously.
Sergeant Slaughter, remember, man, he was the man.
Lockheed Martin's bringing him in.
Still around.
All right, so tell me about Sergeant Slaughter.
Well, he's going to be there signing autographs and talking to the crowd. I would love to take credit for that. We can't. Our great partners with Lockheed Martin, great defense contractor here, are bringing him in.
That's so cool. So you get to hang out with Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah.
I want to know more. I want more of that.
Well, I'm going to try next week to give you some live reports. I know we're going to kick off at 10. Some of the equipment that folks can climb all over. We've got up-armored Humvees. One of them is going to be towing a cannon in. Ooh. So we'll have a 105 howitzer there. We've got something we call the MAT-V, which is a mine and ambush-resistant all-terrain vehicle. It's another long Army
First
acronym.
Of all,
so
I need one of those. Can we drive it?
I'll ask.
Listen, you and I have been battling this for a long time. Okay, I'm gonna address this on air
again
for a long time. I've been waiting to jump out of the plane, get in a tank, fire some missiles, do an M16, any sort of rifle, any sort of combat training, run around, and I would like to throw some grenades or blow something up. How does that actually happen?
We're actually working on some things at Fort Drum to take some educators and community influencers, and I can't think of anyone who has more influence than you or Phil, up to Drum to do some of those things.
Phil's got the mighty pen, so he has the significance here.
does a great job with that. There are everybody asks me for tanks. Even my soldiers say, we want a tank at the New York State Fair. There's no tanks in the Northeast. It's just 10th Mountain Division is a light infantry division. I think we've got to go to either Fort Knox, Kentucky, or down
How about a Humvee, man? Cruise around a Humvee. You know what I always see on the throughways? You're driving. And you're going like, you're going the same, whatever, the speed limit, right? Or whatever it is when you're on 81 or 690 or something. And then you'll see like this old school Humvee that's going like 45 smoking from the back. Like they're obviously taking that and something else somewhere. They're like the old school ones. Where do those things go? What do they do with those?
Well, some of them go to be taken apart and the parts are reused. Some of them are our reserve partners or our National Guard partners going on training. I don't like hearing that they're smoking going down the
well, not smoking. You can they're just going slow.
Speed limits. There's speed limits that they have to maintain when you've got something that's a little heavier than normal.
So you got to go like 45 or 55 or something, when like a 65. Yeah. I didn't mean they're smoking. I just meant they're going so slow. So I'm guessing that I was thinking like, hey, maybe.
I actually had a soldier, didn't realize that. We had one we were bringing down for pregame at one of the SU football games one year. And he forgot that they can only go X amount of us. So it was like trying to get it through the crowd. He was late, to get it set up on the quad.
Trying to rip through it.
Oh, yeah. Brutal.
Scared everybody. So what else we got to address here today? Anything else good?
No, I'm looking forward to, the summer and getting our soldiers out to some of the sports camps going on. And,
okay, we got to get that squared away.
Yeah, we got to get that squared away.
And, I love doing that. Actually, that's fun.
Yeah.
I like hitting the summer camps. Well, it's great to have you in studio. I've missed you dramatically. So
it allows him to reclaim his boyhood dreams.
That's right. You're right.
Exactly.
Phil, that's interesting. Running around playing, yeah.
All right. So you may have to do a tandem jump if I can get that hooked up. We might have to hook you up to somebody else. We're not just going to push you out by yourself.
No, I'm good with that. I mean, okay. I would definitely want to do that as long as it's someone that is the best in the world. Which I know that these guys are incredible.
World champion precision parachute team, the Golden Knights. Yeah, actually,
that would be sick if I could hang out with the Golden Knights.
And I'll follow up on that because they're coming in. They're going to jump in at the Pocono race in June down at beautiful Long Pond, PA, for the NASCAR race.
All right, Phil. You and I got to talk about some stuff here at Burnsy. Let's introduce, first of all, it's the first set of guests coming in the studio. We got our Aflac Spotlight interview members of the Marcellus softball team, and there's no shortage of contenders in Class B softball. Marcellus is certainly part of that large group until a narrow 8-inning defeat to Salve a couple of days ago. The Mustangs steadily built 9-2 record, number 16 in the state Class B. Of course, my good friend Lisa McLaughlin coming in studio, Emily Duran, Carolyn Tardick, Evelyn Webster, Aubrey's coming in, I think, Emma McLaughlin, all will be here in studio, Phil.
Good, solid team Marcellus is, and this is a young group, only a couple of seniors on the roster. And they've made themselves one of the Class B contenders again. A tough top-to-bottom lineup. Freya's only a freshman, and she is a solid pitcher and a pretty tough one. I saw when they beat CBA 2-0 last week. So
Mark Burns back in the day had a sick glove and was quite a softball right fielder. So just to point that out there. Wegmans winning spotlight interview members of the Fayetteville Manly's girls golf team will be in studio. And when you look at FM golf, program has really established, absolute powerhouse. Striding of league Section 3 titles to show for it. Hornets rolling again, undefeated, 11-0. Just do a terrific job. So I know 10 days away in FM from their sectional tournament, their assistant coach Patty McCarthy's in studio. Lucy Fowler, Kara Graves, and Alana Isley will all be here in studio.
Well, this is one of the strongest FM teams they've ever had in terms of their depth. 6 or 7 players that can all be in the top 4 or 5 that can score every time out. They've gotten some real challenges from Liverpool this season. Has been the one team that's played them really close, but as their depth has shown, they're still the team on top, and we'll see how many of them they could make the state tournament ultimately.
And then we got our SummitCars.com spotlight interview, members of the JD Girls Lacrosse team. So Phil just rocking it today. Each of the last 2 years, JD Girls Lacrosse have gained Section 3 Class C titles. Semis in 2018 before falling to Cold Spring Harbor. So the Red Rams really dead set right now on first ever state championship, 14-1 record this spring, number 3 in the state rankings, getting ready for the sectional playoffs as well. So three of their captains in studio, Lisa McLaughlin, or Anna Daroff, Chloe Longwith, Guth, and somebody else I think is coming. Yeah.
But the Lindsay McLaughlin. And the thing is with JD, this is maybe their strongest team that they've had. It's not just that they've won a lot of games. They've done that before. It's who they've beaten. Last week they knocked off FM, no doubt the best team in Class B, and beat them, outscored them, a very impressive performance. And with Deeroff, McLaughlin, they've got a terrific offense that produces a lot of goals, and they certainly have the idea that a state championship is possible.
All right, the great Phil Blackwell, the terrific, tenacious, dapper Mark Burns here in studio, and we'll be right back. This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show presented by SummitCars.com.
This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, brought to you by SummitCars.com.
All right, here we are back on the program. Mike Bristol and the great Phil Blackwell, and Marcellus softball in studio, which is always exciting. I love talking about the Mustangs. Lisa McLaughlin in studio. What's up, Lisa?
Hi, Mike.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I love having you in, and long time no see. It's always been a pleasure. So Lisa and I go way, way, way back. Modified days, high school days, and then coaching a little bit together.
Yes.
So she showed me some softball skills. And the girls are doing great. So 9-2, 16 in the state, 9-3. Sorry, 9-3. Is it still 16 in the state?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, so that's great. Tell me a little bit about the season. So let's think about it. I guess 2/3 into the season. Mm-hmm. Obviously satisfied, feeling good. Tell me a little bit about the your mind at this point.
So we've been pushing along. We took our trip to Myrtle Beach early on in the season. Had a great trip south. Played some really strong teams, AA schools. That's where 2 of our losses came down there. Learned a lot from it. Came back up here, and we've been pretty fortunate. Weather has not canceled many of our games, so we've gotten most of our schedule in. And as you know, if you can play the schedule as written, that's a huge advantage rather than playing, 5 days in a row at the end of the season. So, we're in good shape there. And, I have a young team. I've got my 2 seniors are here with us today. And
nice.
I have 2 juniors, and then I have 8 underclassmen, freshmen and sophomores.
So I look back. Well, let's first of all go through we've got Emily Duran, right? Emily, say hello to everybody.
Hello.
Nice job, Emily Duran. We also have Caroline Tritech. What's up, Caroline?
What's up?
Good to have you in here. Evelyn Webster. Where are you, Evelyn?
I'm right here.
Great to have you. Nice. Aubrey Frere, right?
Hi.
And then, of course, your daughter, Emma. What's up, Emma?
Nothing. Hi.
So how much fun is it coaching your daughter and having your daughter, playing?
This is like my second go around because Molly played for me for 5 years.
Oh, that's right.
And it's great. Emma, she's just one of the other players. And if
you wailing her a little bit more though, you can push her a little bit harder.
I do push a little harder, and if I'm upset with her, I just refer to the assistant coach and say, "Sniff and take care of that."
That's what you got to do. That's absolutely what you got to do. Emily, let's go to you for a second. Let's talk about from a hitting standpoint. If there are a few, I guess, like Phil was pointing out, some spots there that needed to change or needed just some flexibility or what have you. Talk about your hitting, what coach does, and how you girls have been improving.
Well, both coach and our assistant coach, Sniffin, they both
Sniffin.
Yeah, they both teach us the best mechanics. We do tee work every day.
Nice.
Hitting the cage. They're really good with teaching us about our stance and where our hands need to be on certain pitches, and they're great with just getting down to the mechanics. And
Emily, you could be a coach. Caroline, jump in here. Let's talk a little bit too about this. Here, you can move the microphone a little bit close to you. So, talk about this team so far. What you've been happy with.
Well, we are a younger team, which it can be a disadvantage, but I think it's one of our strengths because we bring this kind of energy with us, and I think that's needed in a team. And we have such a great bond with each other, even though there is quite a bit of an age difference. Evelyn,
what are you going to study? Science in school? Or not Evelyn, Caroline, what are you going to study?
Education.
Yeah, I know. I can tell you seem like you have that was good. Evelyn Webster, let's go to you.
Hey.
So, Evelyn, I take it you're the comedian of the bunch? Or is that...
well.
All right, tell me the funniest thing you've done here to the team or to one of the kids this year.
Well, there have been a few. Okay, so we go to Myrtle and we have like a great blast, and basically, let's see. My first year we went to Myrtle Beach. We were chilling on the balcony, doing our thing, and one of the girls, it's a glass door, right, on the balcony. So one of them closed the door. I don't know why. But I was still out there. I ran right into the door, I think that was one of our...
Did you get on video?
I wish. It should be, I feel like, but...
Aubrey, let's go to you. What's going on, Aubrey? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. I like hanging out with Phil, so it's always nice to have a Saturday morning. My boy Philly B in the house, who, by the way, got married. Big congratulations.
Congratulations.
No one knew. I love that you found the love of your life. So, Aubrey, let's go. Let's talk a little bit about, as a freshman here, pitching every inning of every game, right?
Yeah, it's
big responsibility.
Yeah, it is. But I love pitching, and it's kind of just like my thing. Like, it's one of my favorite things to do. So it doesn't really feel like a burden or anything.
No, not a burden,
I really
of course.
enjoy it.
And then you obviously work on your mechanics, work on the pitching thing all the time, right?
Yes, I work every day in practice, and I have lessons, and I put as much time as I can into it.
Does Danny Bishop still help you out? Big Dan?
He does. Dan's with the modified in the JV.
Oh, okay, that's right. So
Yep.
who helps? Who does the kind of the pitching, coaching kind of stuff? Is that your focus?
Well, the girls, by the time they get to me, have their own personal pitching coaches.
Cool, very cool.
So I defer to their pitching coaches.
So, Aubrey, who's your pitching coach? Who do you work with? the most?
Sarah Dolph.
Okay, tell me about her.
She.
Sarah.
Yeah, she.
Wow, nice. Where's she now?
She used to coach with Liverpool varsity, but since she had kids, she has kind of stopped working with them. But
So
she does still help sometimes.
Stuff on the
when she can.
side and all that.
Yeah,
kind of
she's
stuff.
like an unofficial assistant coach.
You throw some trash. What do you throw? You mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, I do. I have a few different pitches.
Tell me about 'em.
I have my fastball,
Yep.
and then I have my changeup, which drops about like 10 miles an hour.
Nice.
And then I have my curveball, which is very effective.
Very effective. I like it. I would not have said effective when I was a junior or senior. I would have said that thing was sweet, man. Emma, let's go to you. What is up, Emma?
Nothing.
So I might see you every once in a while walking up and down the street or doing something. So what's it like hanging out with your mom? Let's get right to it, Emma. She lectures you on the way like home in the car and says, listen, come on.
Not really after games, because after games we get
like
the rundown as a team.
Oh,
anyways.
gotcha. Okay.
But sometimes from practices, if something happened during practice, then I just hear about it.
So you got two really good athletes. You got your dad, Donnie Mack, and obviously your mom, both great athletes at Marcellus. And obviously that's carried on to you. Talk about your strong point and how you like playing with Marcellus softball.
Well, this is my second year on this
Varsity.
team
Yep.
specifically, and I love playing with them. It's really fun. We have a really good bond, and it's not like it doesn't seem like a chore to have to go to practice every day. I look forward to it. Like at the last period of the day, I'm all excited. I see some of my teammates before, and I'm excited for games, and it's been a really fun season.
I love it. All right, Lisa, let's bounce back to you. And I guess in first, like we saw CBA, was that a year ago, claim the title?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's got to give you some motivation, team in the league, all that kind of stuff. I mean, you guys, is that kind of a focus for you and a motivator?
Yeah. So, we have goals early on. First goal is always qualify for sectionals, which,
Right.
We did a few games ago. And then you look at the league and, we have 3 league games left, to hopefully win out. And then you move on to the sectionals. CBA, we had a great team last year. They went up to A. They're going up to A this year for sectionals. So that helps us out. Yeah. They are JD's problem. But there's a lot of good teams in our league and outside of the league. You have your Oneidas and South Jeffs and Adirondacks, and it's a tough. I think Class B. There's so many teams. It's a hard road. It's a hard road to win.
We've got our Summit Cars. We've got our SummitCars.com spotlight interview. Let's go to the players real quick. Let's talk about Myrtle Beach. Emily, talk about Myrtle Beach. The fun, the excitement, all that kind of stuff.
Well, Myrtle Beach in itself, just, getting the chance to go has always been really exciting for all of us. It's great that, especially because we go in late March, early April, that we can actually get some time to play on a field there's actually like nice weather to play with. We're not playing through the snow or any rain. So we're all super excited to head down there.
Caroline, great time or what?
Oh, yes. It's a wonderful time down there. What is really interesting is that we see really good teams.
Yeah, good competition.
Yeah,
Right?
and it gets us ready. I think it gives us an advantage when we come back because we've already played a lot more games than some of the people that we play up here, which I find really helpful.
All right, Evelyn, how about you?
Honestly, it's a great experience. We see a lot of different skills, a lot of different, teams down there. And when we see, great teams, we play better. We see more.
Step it up.
Yeah, honestly, we do. And, that just gives us a step ahead,
Aubrey?
This year, when we played Elmira, we saw some of the best pitching that we've seen all season. And I just feel like that gave us an advantage over the pitching here because we saw different movement pitches that we haven't really seen before. And now it helps us out when we see like a really good changeup or a really good curveball or rise ball.
Great insight. Emma, how about you?
Well, they covered most of it, but on just the team aspect, when we go down there, it's not just play games all the time. We get to spend time with each other, and definitely it's one of a key point in how we get along so well, how we're roommates for a week. We have to get along and
work together, right? Yeah. All right, Coach, final question. So let's talk about it. Playoff time, getting ready. What needs to happen? What do you need to work on? What are you thinking about? Nervous at all?
I'm always a little nervous. But we tend to be a very strong hitting team. I say there's no holes in my lineup, 1 through 9, and actually, we're knocking on wood because I have more starters than starting positions. We're strong all the way through, but you want to make sure everybody peaks at the right time and is hitting at their top level at the right time, and make our plays and be ready to go. I'm watching the weather. Next week doesn't look great, and we don't want to push those last league games into that final week before sectionals. Hopefully, we get them in when they're supposed to be played.
Make it happen. All right, shout out time. Let's go right around the board. Emily, shout out. Who do you want to give a shout out to?
Shout out to my parents and my little sister Hannah.
All right, Caroline, shout out.
Shout out to my parents as well, and my younger brother Thomas and my older sister Emily.
Evelyn.
So shout out to my parents, my sister Abby. It's her birthday today. Oh, right. Yeah. Also Snifferoni and cheese. Thanks for all the how.
Aubrey, shout out.
I want to give a shout out to my whole family for always supporting me, and to our assistant coach Sniffin. He owes me a steak dinner.
Sniffing. Emma, shout out.
Shout out to my parents and shout out to the rest of the team.
Very good.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say.
All right, give yourselves a big round of applause. Marcel softball in studio. Love the Mustangs. On deck, Wegmans winning spotlight interview. Members of the Fayetteville Manlius girls golf team next. Girls, thanks for coming in studio. Coach, obviously, Lisa, great seeing you.
You too, Mike.
We'll be right back. ESPN Radio, 97.7, 100.1.
This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, brought to you by SummitCars.com.
All right, here we are back on it. Mike Bristol and the great Phil Blackwell. And it's always fun to be here in studio with Philly on a beautiful Saturday morning. We've got our Wegmans winning spotlight interview, members of the Fayetteville Manlius girls golf team. Patty McCarthy here, assistant coach. What's up, Patty?
How are you today?
It's good to have you here.
Thank you for having us.
We appreciate it. And let's go right down the line. Lucy Fowler. What's up, Lucy?
Hi, how are you?
Lucy, you sound so fired up to be here on the show.
So excited.
Nice. Alana, what's going on? Elena? Did I do it right? Alana?
Alana. Yeah, no, you're good.
Alana.
Yeah, nice to...
8th grader.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Yeah, being on the team, it's fun.
Deal.
Yeah, it's fun.
We love her.
Yeah.
I love it, Alana. Ellie, what's up, Ellie?
Hi, how are you?
Whole slander. I get that right?
Yeah.
All right, let's get close to the microphone. Let's say hello to everybody. So, one of the captains here on this team.
Yep.
Some serious responsibility.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about their response. You can move the microphone right towards you when I'm talking. There you go. So talk about being a captain on this team.
I really like the leadership role, and after being on the team for 4 years and watching other captains, it's really fun to be one and lead our team.
Oh, that's really nice. Justine, the other captain. Burness, what's up?
Nothing much. It's good to be here.
Justine, what's the strongest part of your game? Is it the whole 90 yards and closer, 100 yards in, or putting, or what?
It's probably my long clubs.
Justine hits the ball well.
Yeah, the short game needs some work, but...
Do you like practicing the longer stuff because you like hitting better?
I do.
Or do you? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I like
Even though it's supposed to be, 80% of your time is supposed to be 100 yards in?
50% of your shots are within.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Yep.
I get it. Coach, let's go to you. So
yes.
Let's first of all talk about, I guess, did you get a sense from the time the season started that this squad was going to be deep, a talented team, and just like FM seems to always put together.
Yes, we did. We start early. We do some work in the gym, and then we head out to Turning Stone. And we saw progress right away with our girls, and especially working with their short game, which we just talked about, being a high percentage of what it takes to be good players. Yes, 3 of our 4 captains are juniors. Of those 3 girls, I believe they've been on the team since they were in 7th grade. So that is depth.
Yeah,
and them coming up and being now captains as juniors is remarkable.
Yeah, no question about it. We've got our SummitCars.com Spotlight interview, and let's go right around the board. Lucy, let's go to you here for a second. This March, you were able to get outside, practice far earlier than in some of the other seasons. Snow had melted, etc. It must have been nice to get a quick start here.
Oh, it was amazing. It was nice. Last season, we actually, I think it was snowing in like April, right? Yeah. And we never had the opportunity to play until like May, middle of May. It's nice to get on the course as early as possible and like start playing 9 holes.
Right, get going, no question about it. Let's go to the 8th grader. So we look at Alana. Right?
Yes, yeah.
So we look at, I guess, if you look at the case, contributed. Let's talk about the low scores you guys have posted every single match this season. Talk about the practice, the effort, and what it takes to get those low scores.
So, this year we've been going out all the time, every day. And we started in March, actually, and it's just been, going to Turning Stone, the Golf Dome, and we have the Aux Gym at our own high school. And so, it's been really nice to be practicing every day because that's the way we get better.
Oh, that's really good. Good answer.
Thank you.
Let's keep going around the board, and let's go right to Ellie here for a second. Ellie, you look at matches against Liverpool, I guess, which Phil and I can talk about. But the first one, Green Lakes, just 2-stroke margin. Was there some nerves there? Talk about that match.
There were definitely some nerves, but we really went in feeling more confident because it was our turf, and like the Twins don't play there as often as we do, and we were playing 9 holes almost every day. So we really knew the course and we knew what to do, so we felt more confident.
Yeah, that's really good. Phil Blackwell, go ahead.
I want to mention the Twins. That's Natalie and Mia Avatons, I believe is how you pronounce it, from Liverpool. They are 2 tremendous players. I think they've both been in the state tournament in years past. And in that match and also the rematch you had on Thursday, they've posted the 2 low individual rounds. But it's been your depth that's been able to overcome that thing, hasn't it?
It has to be our depth. Our 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th girls all are consistently shooting well, and that's what brings our team up to the competitive level of play that we're at. Our coach, Tom Chaddock, really works us well in terms of in that respect.
Yeah, now, in this season, I mean, well, how come? Let me ask you specifically. When were you able to play your first outdoor practice this year? I mean, you obviously were indoors, but when were you outdoors for the first time?
I believe we went out to Linden sometime in the beginning of April, and it snowed. Yep, and what seemed like the sand traps was actually piles of snow because there are no traps in Linden.
But it also helps, I think, that you play, for your home matches, you're at Green Lakes, and you play the 9s there. For those of you who don't know, Green Lakes is a very hilly golf course. I mean, how much of it, in terms of how important is conditioning, given that you have to walk on a very hilly course?
Justine? Yeah, go ahead.
I think that playing Green Lakes is a real advantage to us because seeing other flat courses and playing those makes it seem so easy, and we're really conditioned to play a harder course and used to it.
Golf has also changed, to be conditioned, more physically conditioned creates better players, and playing at Green Lakes, it can only happen because of the hills and the dynamics of the course.
Now, for all of you, Justine and Lucy and all these players, is part of the fact that you're so sharp every single match is the fact that is there a set plan for who plays each particular match, or is it random, or what's the thought that goes into that?
Well, actually,
go ahead, Lucy.
Oh yeah, thank you. Actually, so we use team point system. Like par is, so you go out, play your 9-hole match, and throughout the whole time, fairway you get 1 point. Par, you get 5. Birdie, you get, 10. I think, 10. Mm-hmm. And then I think eagle, 25, right? Yes. And then hole in one, you get 50. No one's had the chance to get a hole in one, but all the points end up adding up, and we determine the top 6 by the highest amount of points that we get in practice.
It is a complete point system, and it really is a true tale of how the girls perform and where they are in terms of their order in their play.
How many golfers have already qualified for the sectional tournament for your team so far, for the sectional tournament based on the scores?
I believe 4 have qualified at this point, so we feel very confident about that.
Now, and aside from Green Lakes, I'll ask everyone, Lucy and Alana and Ellie and Justine, I'll ask them, aside from Green Lakes, what's the favorite course that you like to play, whether it's league, whether it's in league or outside of it? You can take it, Lucy.
I like Timberbanks. I think it sort of matches Green Lakes. It's a hard course. It's very nice and clean cut. It's up to our skill, I guess. It's a challenge.
Alana, what do you think?
Honestly, I think I'm gonna have to go with Cavalry Club. That's it's a great course. It's definitely very nice. So.
What about Justine? What do you think?
I actually like Northern Pines, CNS's home course. I don't know. I feel like it was in good condition last year, and I liked it.
What about Ellie?
I also really like Timberbanks because it's really a nice treat when we get to the opportunity to play it.
Now, from now until the sectional tournament, you have a few more matches left. What do you think you'll still be working on specifically in order to improve? What do you think you still need to improve between now and then?
I personally think that putting plays a big role in golf, and if you can get it close to the green, and but if you can't finish it, that's where a lot of strokes can be lost.
You mentioned what the strength of your game was, Justine, but what about about Lucy and Ellie and also Ellie? What's the strength of your games, both of them?
Probably the strength of my game is short game because I can't really hit it far, but I can hit it straight and I can get it into the hole once it's up there.
What about you, Lucy?
Me personally, it depends on the day. If I'm hitting, it's a windy day. It's definitely not my driver because I have to have pretty good conditions for my driver because it really gets in my head. But on a normal day, I've got some good long iron game, and I can get it on the green within a 150-yard distance really well.
Yeah, modern golfers have much difficult time because most sets don't have long irons. They have utility clubs. They don't have long irons. No one really works on that anymore. If you're lucky to have a 5 or 6 iron in your bag these days. So anyway, but as part of the success, the scary part of this team is the fact that it is such a young team and it still could get a lot better even after this year.
Well, I think that's not scary. I think that's rather hopeful. Our girls, I'm looking at them now, also carry a strong mental capacity to play well when they have to. And that's something that just comes from experience and time on the golf course and pressure situations. And, you can teach your players how to stroke the ball this way or that way, but it's those 4 inches between your 2 ears that really create success for these girls. And I see that every day in them.
How valuable also is, how many of you have played Cannon Valley where you played the sectional tournament? Most of you have, right? Yeah. From playing them before, what's the most important thing to scoring well on that course when you're playing 18 holes rather than 9?
Justine?
I'd say definitely keeping it in play there. You have to deal with a lot of hazards and woods, so I feel like for us it'd be good to be able to hit the ball straight, which we would always hope to do, but I think that's what's really important there. It's not really distance, it's keeping the ball in play.
I think it's the mental game there because it's a big course, it's intimidating. I feel like if you try and keep your composure the whole time, you're in good shape.
Phil Blackwell, incredible job, Phil. How about a round of applause for Philly B running things?
Phil.
Let's do some exactly. One of the greatest writers too here in Central New York. Sports Hall of Fame. Lucy, let's go right around the board. Let's do some shout outs. Where do you want to go? Go ahead, give a shout out.
I'd probably go to my parents.
Nice.
They basically drive me around everywhere, bring me to the lessons I need to go to. We go out to the Turning Stone every couple of weeks. It's kind of a big commitment for them, and they're just willing to do it.
Of course, because they love you. Absolutely. So parents do.
Yeah, I'm going to have to give a shout out to my family just for all the love and support they've given me throughout the season.
Gotcha.
I'd like to give a shout out to my family, but also our B team because they don't really get all the publicity that we do, and they're a really big part of our mental game and keeping us in check.
Very nice.
I want to give a shout out to my parents and also Kira, who couldn't be here, who came in with a good score at Liverpool in our last match and helped us.
All right, very good. Coach.
And I'd also like to, we have two other captains, Bailey Wallace and Ashley Carter, that couldn't make it. They're both real competitive players. And, of course, our head coach, Tom Chaddock, who really keeps us in check.
Very, very nice. All right, give yourselves a big round of applause, girls. Great job. All right, we'll be right back. Obviously, ESPN Radio, 97.7, 100.1.
This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, brought to you by SummitCars.com.
All right, here we are back on it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Inside High School Sports Show, the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show. And it's always great to have my boy Phil Blackwell in studio. Girls, it's great to have you in here as well. We're talking our SummitCars.com spotlight interview, members of the Janesville DeWitt girls lacrosse team. And as Phil and I had mentioned, last 2 years, JD girls have gained Section 3 class titles, reached the state semis in 2018 before falling to Cold Spring. Red Rams, I think 14-1 or 15-1, 14-1.
14-1.
Number 3 in the state, and we've got 3 captains. Lindsay, Anna, and Chloe are all in here. And Anna, let's go to you first. What's going on?
Nothing much. Just excited that we've come this far in the season, and happy to be 14-1. Hopefully, we're going to get back to the state tournament this year. So I just say that's our goal. Mm-hmm. We just had a big win over FM. I think that was a kind of a statement.
Yeah, they're just grinning about it. I mean, big time. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, so definitely excited about that.
Excited. Lindsay, say hello. What's going on?
Hi.
Great job, Lindsay. Chloe, what's going on, Chloe?
Nothing much.
So when you guys talk, make sure you guys get close to that microphone, okay?
Okay.
All right, Anna, let's go to you here first as I'm going to get this rolling here because we have our SummitCars.com spotlight interview. Compared to the teams, I guess, last 2 years, let's talk about this group and really, time to take that next step towards a state championship.
Well, we definitely lost a lot of people from last year. One of our star defenders, we had some star attackers, middies. Really just we lost people all over the field. So kind of in the beginning of the season, adjusting to that and just adapting to the new people we have and the roles that had to be filled. I think that was one of our challenges this year, but I think we've done a really good job overcoming it and just seeing how people fit and mesh together has kind of been a strong suit of ours. And just overall, I think that was a challenge we had to overcome this year, and I think we've done a really good job of it.
Good job. Lindsay, let's go to you. Lindsay McLaughlin, I guess, especially last year, what was the biggest thing you learned on what steps were needed to get to the state championship level?
I think that we learned a lot getting to the state semis, and we realized that the level of play is a lot different when you get that far, and that you kind of need to step up and play with an attitude and a bit of a chip on your shoulder, knowing that you're there because you're good and you need to play to win. So I think that going back there this year, we're going to have that in the back of our minds, and we'll know what to do a little bit better.
You also have, 67 points this season, a lot of assists, doing your thing.
Yeah.
Talk about all that offensive effort and plenty of firepower.
I think that just as a senior this year, I kind of knew that I needed to step up a little bit and be there for the offense and kind of be that voice. So that's the role I try to take. I try to be vocal and tell the other girls what they need to do sometimes and just make sure everyone's on the same page. And yeah, that's about it.
Chloe, let's talk about, I guess, from a confidence standpoint, how big was that win over FM last week? And,
that was awesome.
Right.
Of course, it was the first time we beat them ever in program history.
Yeah.
So that was an awesome feeling. It compared a lot to how it felt when we won regionals last year. And I don't know, we just kind of want to hold on to that feeling, know how good it felt, take that on to the road to state. So, yeah.
Nice job. Anna, you're right behind with 62 points, I think. Let's talk about part of your success, obviously, this season, the fact that there are many others who can finish as well and get the ball too and that kind of stuff. So talk a little bit about that.
I definitely think that this year we've got pretty balanced offense. Everyone can score. If you pass it to someone, they're going to finish it. And I think that makes us really dangerous out there because you can't just face guard someone. If you take one player out of the game, it's not going to matter. I just think we each have our role and we know what we're good at, and we've gotten to that point where if we know someone's a driver, we're going to cut through for them, or if we know someone's at X, we know when that cut's going to be there. And I just think like our team offense has been amazing this year, and just knowing where everyone's going to be is really good.
Phil Blackwell, Eagle Newspapers.
I went back to Lindsay about the passing. You've got lots of assists this season. How long does it take to be a really good passer? How much practice does that take?
Well, honestly, I've never been big on the assists until this year, so it's been a long time coming since pretty much I started lacrosse. And I don't know, I've just been, over the past 4 years on varsity, I've been trying to make myself more comfortable down at X and realizing when those cutters are going to come, and kind of working with my team, knowing like when Anna's up top, Lily Lone Goose up top. Like I know I'm pretty familiar when they want to cut like lefty, righty. So.
Well, Lily, I want to get to you for a second because you have your sister Chloe on the team as well. So you and both are big contributors on the team. How competitive are you two? Because you're both. I mean, you both. Look at they're laughing.
Yeah.
Like how competitive are you?
Pretty competitive. I mean, we really like to push each other. We have fun doing it at the same time, which is always good. So yeah, sisterly competition. I think it's a good thing, and it's a fun thing to experience. Not many people get to do that.
Now, I think it helps to have a coach like Stephanie Rice, who was a great star at Skinny Atlas, a great college star. And she said, you were telling me, she still runs marathons.
Yeah.
I mean, what are practices like with her running it?
Well, first of all, our coaches are a marathon runner, a CrossFit trainer, and Coach Matt, who's just literally
Like the best
the
guy.
best person
we know.
you've ever met. So it's pretty balanced. Like they're always positive, and we're excited to be there, but we also know that they're going to make us work hard. Like we run, we're conditioned.
Yeah,
How much running is done per practice?
Well, we do a
amount.
lot in preseason,
Yeah.
but I think the coaches are really good about knowing, like, once we get into the season,
Like,
once
if we
you're
have a
there,
game the
if
next
we had a
day.
game, they know that you just played a huge game, and that is your conditioning, so they're really good about that.
For example, I mean, now after you play one more regular season game, you're going to have a little bit of rest before sectional playoffs. What will practices be like the next week and a half to, knowing that you'll get some rest here? I mean, what's the balance they're going to strike?
Probably at the beginning of the week, we'll just kind of do what we need to get done, like what we need to focus on. They'll definitely throw some running, some conditioning in there.
for sure.
Probably some fartlets.
Yes.
Wait, explain this.
So
Explain
these
that.
are our team's favorites.
Yes.
Yeah.
You sprint the length of the field.
100
and then-
yards?
Yes.
Yep.
And then you
And then you
jog the
jog.
sidelines.
Yep.
And then we just keep doing that.
Then you just keep going.
You just keep going.
What was
keep
the
going.
most you've ever had to do?
I'm not sure. It's
Maybe like
it's,
6. I don't
yeah.
know.
No,
It's usually timed, so we
Yeah.
don't really know how many laps. But yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's no doubt about conditioning coming at the end of the season. That's no question about that.
Right.
Other than FM, what win this season was probably the toughest for you guys in terms of what you had to overcome?
I would say our win against Auburn when we were down by 5.
The second one.
Yeah,
We
the
played them
second
twice this
one.
season.
And we had to come back from that 5-goal deficit. And it was raining.
It's the sort of game where you can just, think that, oh, come on, it's regular season, what's going to matter? But it's one of those things that
Right.
once you win it, the confidence got to go sky high.
Yeah.
Right. But I think that kind of our motto this season we have on the back of our warm-ups is fear none, respect all. So we try to go in with that mindset to every game that we can't really overcome or overlook anyone because we never know what could happen. And Auburn was a pretty good example of that. Like
Auburn's a state-ranked Class
Yeah.
B team.
Right.
Almost won the sectional title a year
Right.
ago, and they almost knocked off FM. So that's not exactly a pushover. I mean, they're a
Right.
really
Not
good
at
team.
all. I would say that they're a fantastic team, and it was a great game for all of us.
Yeah. And I think it really boosts our confidence when we can come back from a 5-goal deficit. We almost did the same thing with West Jenny, so we've learned that we can be that second half team, and that's probably going to get really important when we're in the state tournament and if we run into any issues.
So what do you think you have to work on the most between now and the postseason so that you are really ready for making a state title push?
Defense, yeah.
Defense.
I think defense is one of our biggest things we need to work on, especially because we lost pretty much our entire starting defense
Last year,
Yeah, but we're working really well.
Who are some of those young defenders that are playing back there? We'll give them some credit here.
Courtney Keogh. Right now, she's out recovering from a concussion, but shout out Courtney. She's awesome, and
She's loud.
She's
Tough.
loud. She's aggressive. Everything we need out there on the field. So
Also, Allie Durkin, who we lost last year, her little sister Mara is back there, and she's like our
awesome.
little ground ball machine. She
The
gets
Durkins are a
everything.
great lacrosse family because
Yeah,
they have
they're a great lacrosse family.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why how they could be so competitive. I wonder where that came from. But anyway, the confidence level you have. I mean, obviously, my question is, I mean, how confident are you that you can finally take all those steps and finally get that state title for JD?
We are. We tell each other this every day at practice. It's a state championship state of mind, and that's what we've carried through the whole season. So
yeah,
we have high expectations.
And I think we've learned like we got to take it one game at a time. Nothing's gonna come easy, but
we don't plan on going down with that fight.
Yeah.
All right, Mike.
So let's do a few more things. Let's talk about a little bit about the team bonding stuff. So who wants to start off with that? What's some of the fun stuff you girls do together? Huh?
We went to like a ropes. I don't even
Ropes
know
course?
it. Like
Ropes
a ropes
course?
course with
Yeah.
like in the middle of the woods.
Yeah,
it was.
Where
it
is
was
this?
fun.
Where is that?
It's called Arenda Springs in Marcellus.
Oh, Mustang Country,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I love it. So that must have been fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah. How about anybody cook? Anybody bring like some good dishes and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, we have
we have
dinners.
pasta dinners, and a big staple at all of them are Gannon's ice cream.
Oh,
I make some good
make sure you talk close to that
brownies.
microphone. Oh, who makes the brownies?
I do. They're
Anna
called
makes the brownies.
Slutty brownies. They're brownies with cookies on top.
Oh, Brookies.
Brookies, whatever you want to call them.
Brookies,
They're
that's
really
what they
good.
are. Because everyone combines names, they're Brookies.
So,
That's what I've had.
you
Very
put cookie
addictive.
dough at the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
and then you put the
brownies on top.
right.
But you have to add extra chocolate chips to the brownie mix.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's extra like chocolate, and then would you
Yes.
keep it a little doughy or?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's got to be ridiculous.
Gotta be fudgy.
You should have brought in some for Phil and I. That would have been
Yeah.
delightful. That would have been.
My wife can
good.
bake them too. You know, she does. She likes-
throws that down.
she bakes a lot of stuff, and she loves doing it too. So it's like,
Why didn't you tell me that good stuff, Phil? Come
maybe
on,
I
buddy.
should tell her. Yeah, I should. Maybe that's an idea. That's an idea.
Yeah, say hey. That would have been very, very sweet and delightful.
Literally and figuratively.
All right, girls, real quick, let's do some shout outs. Start things out. Let's go. Who do you want to give a shout out to? Who do you want to thank?
I want to thank our coaches, Coach Rice, Coach Murphy, and Coach Matt for being the best coaches around, always being supportive, but not being afraid to push us when we need it.
Nice.
Also, shout out to all of our parents who support us all the way, and all of our fans, especially JD Boys Baseball. They
always
come
there.
to every single
Really,
game.
they do. Even when they don't play games at the same time. I like that. I like that
so
a
shout
lot.
out JD Boys
and she's having
Baseball.
a good season too. They're a state-ranked baseball team.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
having a good season.
Yeah.
Shout out to my parents and JMO. Also to Ike and the guys lacrosse team. Go get the win against FM today.
Yeah, they're playing this afternoon, 2:00. Good one. That should be.
All right, very nice. Phil, girls, give yourselves a big round of applause. Thanks for coming in studio. It's always a pleasure to have all the kids coming in here each and every week. So, Phil, real quick, what's happening here? We got about a minute. What's happening right now?
So much happening in boys lacrosse. There were big wins by Baldwinsville this week over West Genesee, and CBA's rolling along, number 3 in the state now, and mentioning them. And girls lacrosse, Gannettles, I watched last night. What an impressive performance over Marcellus. They look like a complete team. That state championship caliber win they're on. Absolutely. Wanted to mention those teams.
How about today? Anything?
Big game is JD and FM, like we mentioned on the boys' side. Interesting neighborhood rivalry. The girls, I mean, obviously JD won last week, so we'll see what happens here. So it'll be a great, lots of skill on display.
All right. For all of our guests, we had a great show, and we appreciate everybody coming in studio. Obviously, for Phil, all he does for the writing all with high school sports. Girls, thanks for coming in studio. And next week, any ideas next week who we're going to have?
Full set of guests, I'm sure.
All right. Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, and Joe Clarko and the crew at Aflac. We appreciate them. And brought to you by SummitCars.com. See you next week. .com. 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 See you next week. .com.